Hayden Hindman here with your weekly report. Reports have surfaced that Coach Segura has been running an underground cockfighting ring on South Carolina's campus. This has been cleverly disguised as a team-building exercise. Sources say that during off hours at the practice field, Segura has been pitting roosters against each other in high-stakes brawls, with assistants, coaches, and even some boosters getting involved, allegedly placing bets on the outcomes, and some even bringing cocks of their own. The scandal came to light when a concerned student spotted Coach Segura sneaking into the field house late at night with a sack of birdseed. This raised questions, and further investigation revealed that the race-winning roosters were actually being smuggled into team meals as part of a bizarre superstition Segura believed would bring good luck. It may be working. The NCAA is reportedly looking into this matter. Coach Segura has declined to comment, though insiders say he's working on a statement blaming the team's mascot for giving him bad ideas. More to come as this story develops. Thanks. Wow. Well, isn't that something? Haven't quite heard of that before, but he is coming off of a national championship, so this may get swept under the rug. Anyway, before I get started here, go Bucks, Skull Vikes. It's a great football season, IRL, for your boy. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about CFBdyNastyy. That's exactly what we're going to do. Let's go. Wow. Yeah. Without further ado, we aren't going to wait any longer. Here are your highlights. Top 5. I got sent 7 of them this week, so thank you for that, boys. Number 5, he had a 500-yard week plus. We'll cover his stats in a moment. There's just one of many. Deep balls. I like that camera angle, Coach Segura. I like where your head's at, getting a little creative. This is number 4. This is against Coach Amenta, myself. It was a nice little user lurk, but I'm not done there. I get a nice return here, and if you reach out to Coach Amenta and you ask him how the game went, he will tell you it was mistakes on his part and a lot of pick sixes. That one there was 92 yards. Same game, though. He's down only 7 at this point, so 7-14, keeping it a close one. Looks like this is the first play of the second quarter. I want you to pay close attention to a few of the defensive adjustments I make here. I get locked onto the D lineman, but doesn't matter. I believe he's actually the best player on my defense. So made a nice play with him, little pivot, little L trigger strafe action, and get the pick 6. Again, that's 2 of them. Now we're moving on into USC versus Florida. Looks like Florida's up big. But I love this play. He gets a little creative here with his play call. Look at this. He runs a little comeback route, 10 yards, so he freezes the defenders. Got this B guy running up right behind him, but everybody's confused, and he throws a deep ball, but that's not it. He uses the wide receiver, comes back, and makes an awesome play. Coach Slick. Where did that come from? Wow. Excited to see more of that. This is the very first play of the game, and you can guess what's going to happen here. Nice little interception. Cut back out to the left here, Reggie Bush style. And I barely get by this guy. I believe he tried to knock my fucking head off. But either way, get past him. And that's the very first play of the game. 66-yard pick 6. That is our number 1 play of this week. Speaking of this week, here's your recap. USC 21, Florida 56. Florida is now ranked 12th. I know you can't see it, but I am pulling these scores differently than I did last year. What it will show now is the updated ranking, not the rank from the previous week when the game was actually played. So Florida's now ranked 12, 56, 3-0, 1-0 in the conference. USC 3-2, 0-2 in the conference for Coach Slick. Looking for his first conference win in a user versus user setting. Secondly, Kentucky put up 16, but wasn't enough for Nick Harbor and Coach Segura. I'll show you the stats in a second if you haven't seen them already. It's absolutely bonkers and kind of bullshit, but we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. I have not heard word from the NCAA regarding a ban on Nick Harbor entirely, so he's just going to keep doing this shit. He puts up 55. He's 3-0, and he's now, if you probably can't see it, you don't know yet, Coach Segura is ranked second. He is ranked second in the nation. Having a stellar finish to last year and a great start to this year. Next, Missouri versus Auburn. Anytime you go up against Missouri, this goes for all of us now. You can play against them. I unfortunately had to boot Coach Hess from the league so you can play against the computer. They wound up putting up 35, so having some issues on defense for Coach Stevenson. What's new? But he does put up 49 points, so he gets the win there. They're now ranked 15th at 4-0, 1-0. We're going to talk about the upcoming week in a moment. But lastly, myself against Coach Amenta, he put up 35 points as well, similar to Mizzou. Made a lot of really great plays, but what really shut him down was those mistakes. And now I'm ranked 10th, 3-1, 1-1 in the conference, and it looks like Coach Octor and myself put up the most points this week, most points scored. It also looks like all home teams won, which I'm now just discovering, so interesting. This week's Do of the Week, it's no surprise. You probably can't read the stats here. They're pretty fucking crazy, though. 445 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks for Lenora Sellers. He was 16 for 19, really slinging the ball. And Nick Harbor, 13 catches, 538 yards, 5 touchdowns. I'm not even gonna talk about that. That's crazy. Okay, game of the week this week. Now, this is something a bit different because we're gonna cover this in a moment. Now, this was ChatGPT. I also want to point out something very interesting that's going on with this image, right? If you want to see stats and, job security, defensive scheme, yada, 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 go in and check yourself. Won't cover that, but I do want to point out ChatGPT. I asked them to just create a game of the week graphic for me. And I mentioned who it was, what I wanted. I did not mention for them to really make a prediction of who's going to win. It looks like, if you see in the top middle above the ref's head, they are predicting South Carolina to run away with this one. Really interesting. But that's not all, because we have to cover the players. Nick Emmon Rory is the best player on the South Carolina squad. He is a safety. I believe it's strong safety. And then this guy, forgot to write down his name again. This guy's pretty damn good, though. I think he's a 90 overall, and he's on defense. I believe he's an end, either a left end or a right end for Coach Stevenson. Look out for those fellas. But that's not all, because we have 2 game of the weeks this week, UCLA versus Florida. And if you notice, ChatGPT is pulling the same old stunt with this one. They are predicting that the University of Florida is going to win. So we may have our own Lee Corso ChatGPT situation going on. They predicted Coach Octor to pull away with that game. And then here are the 2 best players. J. Michael Sturdivant, we all know about this guy, wide receiver for UCLA. And the guy on the right, forgot his name, no surprise, but he is a corner for the University of Florida, and Coach Octor, his best player. Players of the week, we have 2 of them. We have both of them this week, which I love to see. Defensive side, Joe Phillips, 5 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and then Nick Harbor. again, of course, he won the best offensive player this week. That's probably a record that he broke. It's got to be. That's fucking nuts. So, congrats, because he's now leading the Heisman race. No surprise, Julian Sayin has dropped to number 2. Malachi Blizzard is number 3. And, show goes on. Speaking of the show, CFBdyNastyy Conference standings. We got Auburn up at the top at 4-0. Florida right behind them. South Carolina right behind them. UCLA right behind them. And then the rest of us. So let's see some things shake up after this week, after we have some interesting matchups. Here's the top 25. As you can see, South Carolina is ranked number 2. I noticed Texas A&M is now first because they beat my beloved Buckeyes, the Ohio State Buckeyes. This game seems to love the Buckeyes, so I'm surprised about that. But UCLA is ranked 5th. They're in the top 5 now. I am at 10. Florida is at 12. We've got Auburn at 15. And we got Washington at 25. And here are the upcoming games for this coming week. Southern Miss is going to travel to Washington, and they're probably going to get manhandled. They're 0-3. So Coach Amenta, have fun with that one. Put up some interesting highlights and send them my way. Secondly, your first game of the week matchup is UCLA versus Florida. Number 5 ranked UCLA against number 12 ranked Florida in the Swamp. That has implications in and of itself. So we'll see who wins that one. That's going to be a good game. Hopefully it's streamed. Put the broadcast on. Let us know the channel. Tennessee, I am going to go up against my buddy Coach Slick, who I'm a little nervous because he's been making some plays, probably just making a few mistakes because he doesn't play all that often, but I'm a little nervous. I haven't been playing well, and Coach Slick, he's the man, so we'll see. Lastly, Coach Segura, ranked number 2, going to travel to Auburn, so we'll see what winds up happening with this. As you all know, I'm very good friends with Coach Stevenson, who said no problem. So he's already talking shit. Good luck to both fellas there. That's all we've got this week, guys. Can't wait to see what happens. Later.